Okay, let's do this fucking shit.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Sitting Ringside. This is episode number 180. I'm back. I was off last week. Couldn't make it to the show, but I'm back. I'm here, ready to kill it. As always, I am Robert Villa, and with me, David Rodriguez, Mark Ambu Miller, and of course, Rudy Lara. Fellas, we got an awesome show tonight. We have a guest from the Netherlands. I think that's our first guest from the Netherlands. We got a guest. This is David's boy. His name is Marcel. What's his last name?
Dorff.
Marcel Dorff.
Marcel Dorff. This guy is a legend. He will be talking to us about everything that he knows in the MMA world and beyond. But before we get started, fellas, let's do the quick shout-outs to HKA USA. Go to hkausa.com. Show love to them as they show love to us. Also, to Foxhound Fuel. Go to foxhoundfuel.com. Use our discount code FBMMA. Fucking Rudy. So you
I busted out the sword of justice for tonight. So
there you go. Use our discount code FBMMA so you can get 20% off of all your purchases to get all your supplement needs for your workouts, for cardio, whatever it is that you need. Go to Foxhound Fuel. Fellas, if you want some awesome, comfortable underwear, go to johntyler.com or click the logo at the website. For 20% off on all your purchases, use our discount code FIGHTBOOK. Also, shout out to all our partner promotions and to the people that we use to live stream events, Flow Combat, Fight TV, ESPN Plus, The Zone, and MMA TV. Guys, let's do the quick rundown of the upcoming events. We have on July 14th a grappling match. It's called Grappling Emperor of the Mats 3. That's going to be live. on Fightbook MMA. Also, NFC 156 live at Fightbook MMA, and also live on Fightbook MMA. We have Battle MMA Championship 9. And of course, UFC on ESPN 49.
Whoa. Did you just say championship?
Yeah, Championships 9.
Oh, I heard you say championship. I was like,
Oh.
man, you are fucking Mexican, bro. Championship. There's no.
No,
Do you pronounce it Chevrolet or Chevrolet?
Chevrolet.
Fucking you! You're just like my wife, Mexican, bro. That's funny.
Hey, we're
That's
Mexicans.
funny.
What can we say, man? Because from Chihuahua.
Yeah.
And also, we can't forget UFC on ESPN 49, Home versus Bueno Silva.
Yep.
Also in the boxing bare knuckle slap fighting category,
I
live
don't know about
on
that, man.
Fightbook.
I think we might be able to forget it.
Live on Fightbook MMA, BKFC 47, Lakeland. Also on Showtime, Las Vegas, Freitas Rojas versus Diego Sanchez. And a title fight in Michigan, live in Detroit on the Zone. Alicia Baumgartner versus Christina Leonard the Two. I don't even know if I said that last name right, but it sounds good.
Close
They're
enough.
fighting for Baumgartner's junior lightweight undisputed championship.
Championship.
Championship. Chip.
Championship.
Do you say
All right, guys.
chair or share? Go give me that share.
The share?
Do you ever say it like that? And do you
Yes.
pronounce Cher, you know the singer's name, Cher?
Fuck.
Because that's kind of weird though, you know what I mean?
I
You'll
don't
mispronounce
know.
Cher and say Cher, but you can't say Cher's name. You'll say
But I
Cher.
say shit.
Yeah, I mean, those are just things, little things the Mexicans do.
Oh my God.
It's funny.
When I'm around my Mexican friends or with my family, the hardcore accent comes out, dude. It's crazy. The hardcore Mexican accent
Oh, I can tell.
just comes out. And I'm talking with my hands and hijo de su quién sabe qué, no seas imbécil. I mean, I'm
Chugging tequila and Dos Equis.
Not just no tequila for Roberto. We don't know.
No, it's mira, puro H2O, brother, puro H2O.
That Mexican water boy.
Guys, we had an event last weekend. We had UFC 290. Wow, what an event! What a fucking event!
And I want to start by saying I called it. I told you Yair would go down and get ran over. And I told you Mexico went down, man. Unfortunately, it did. I wanted Yair to win. I mean, like,
Dude,
the Moreno fight was amazing, but yeah, man, like Alexander Pantoja, like, had there not been 8 different fights in between, like, he was the guy in line and had a crazy story and a crazy rise at the top, and goes out there and probably fought in the best flyweight championship fight we've ever seen. Pretty much Brandon Moreno's championship fights have been the best fights, but each time out there, man, like, yeah, all the credit to Alexander Pantoja. Hearing him on Ariel, hearing his story, like, man, that guy definitely deserved it, and it took the belt from an absolute savage too in Brandon Moreno. So
Yeah, if
Yeah,
you
man,
missed
you
that,
know, I'm
if you
not-
missed that event, folks, not a real fight fan.
you are not a real fight fan. Speaking of not a real fight fan, David, we didn't do our part, man. We've been
Exactly.
slacked
That's
off
why I
on
brought
that.
it up. You stop jacking
Wow.
off in the back.
well, honestly, if you guys didn't watch UFC 290, every single second of that event, if you didn't rewatch it the next day, I mean, yeah, and then all the events, of course, that Rob just mentioned, you got to be watching everything. You got to make the true commitment.
And do the
you
fucking
don't know
Friday
who Marcel-
challenges.
Yeah, and if you don't know who Marcel Dorff is, 1,000% you're
Not a real fight fan.
Our guest should be
Yeah.
waiting to jump on. So whenever Marcel's ready to get on, he'll jump in on with
Let's
the chat.
pop them on. Let's pop them on.
Let's do it. Let's bring him on now, man.
So
Let's
we
get
gotta
him on and start talking about
bring out
UFC
the
290.
sword of justice and ask him a question. And if he answers wrong, then
Then we
send
gotta
him the sword of justice. So Marcel, did you watch UFC 290? Are you a real fight fan?
I absolutely didn't watch it, man. What was on last weekend? Was there a car? What you gonna do with a knife through the screen, dude?
It's a sword of justice. He called it a knife, bro.
Yeah,
They must have bigger.
yeah.
They must have bigger swords over there. Jesus, how you doing, man?
What's that butter knife that you're holding? Man? Well, everybody that's watching and or listening, we have our guest on air right now, Mr. Marcel Dorff. Welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you for having me.
Hell yeah, man. I know you and David been talking, trying to get you on the show, and we finally got you on, man. You are right now in the Netherlands. What time is it over there, brother?
It's 3:14 a.m.
Holy shit. And you woke up
He's a real fight fan,
to
folks.
be on a podcast.
I haven't been to sleep yet, so no. I'm just.
Oh my God.
We definitely appreciate you making the time, though, Marcel. I know we talked about it last week. Glad to have you on, especially coming off of, what we were just starting to chat about, man. UFC 290 history was, of course, made. We were talking about the Pantoja win, probably one of the best fights in flyweight history. I was mentioning that Brandon Moreno's fights are pretty much the best fights we've seen. Pantoja, his story, becoming the champ. What's your take on the fight, man? Did you pick Pantoja? I'm not sure who you had in the fight.
So I gotta say, normally my picks are pretty bad, but I actually picked Pantoja in this fight, so I'm actually happy with my pick here. But I mean, going into the fight, it was kind of 50-50 for me. I mean, we knew that Pantoja beat him twice in the past, but I mean, both guys have been so developed that it's kind of difficult to measure from the past how it went now. And I think it was a good fight. It was a very good fight, actually. I love the fight. I think I scored, let me see how I scored. I scored round 3, 4, and 5 for Pantoja, with the saying that you can give round 4 to Moreno, I think. So it was either 4-1 Pantoja, 3-2 Pantoja for me. So, but overall, great fight, man. I think another example that flyweights are exciting to watch, and I'm happy actually for it. I love both guys. Who doesn't love Brandon Moreno? I think he's one of the most loved flyweights in the UFC. And Pantoja. I don't think many people, probably the hardcores knew, but a lot of people didn't really know about Pantoja. He got booed as well during the presser, and he was like, "Why are you guys booing me? I'm a nice and a good fighter." So it's like, and after the fight, he had that about his dad, like, "Dad, are you proud of me?" So I think many people are more into his story now as well, and I mean, he's a good fighter, So, but the flyweight division is open again. I'm looking for what's next. But great fight, man. I think everybody enjoyed that one.
I think in the end, the fans there appreciated it for what it was. It's just I don't think there's any bad blood. It's just that's the way Mexicans are, man. They're very proud people. They're gonna support their guy,
Yes, we are.
Yeah, and then also, like, along the lines of the fight going the way it did, we know Pantoja's never seen the championship rounds. Apparently, Brandon Moreno had an injury early in the fight and was still winning rounds. So, I mean, absolute warrior, and just like seeing Pantoja just go out there and seizing the moment, seizing the opportunity. He had to wait, after this, how many fights, Moreno and Davidson, just epic stuff 4 times. But just going out there and just already, like you said, Marcel previously had the wins, the exhibition win, of course, in Tough, and then just outright putting a stamp on it. He holds the gold. And man, a lot of the hardcores definitely seen it happening. But shout out to both guys. The flyweight division is absolutely killer. And the next step was obviously going to be Brandon Royval. I know everybody you guys heard about, they were supposed to have a face-off, but apparently with the Adesanya situation, they said, Brandon Royval, no, we're not going to do that. So, and we'll get to that fight in just a second, because I guess we're coming from the top down. Let's get to, Volkanovski, Yair. I mean, we we knew Yair was a big underdog.
Volk's
an
gonna
absolute
Volk,
savage.
bro. Volk's gonna Volk, and that's exactly what he did.
Yeah. But I mean, for him to go in there and just make it look that easy, just beat him up, take him down, kind of just like Yair was a big gun shy early in the fight. We've seen it. The fight with Josh Emmett, he went for the kill, club and sub, and like I think, in matter of fact, if Yair and Josh Emmett were in like a grappling match, I don't think he would probably submit Josh that easily. He just hurt him so bad, got him on the mat, But Volk just went out there and just put it on him, and he's the GOAT, right? He's the number one pound for pound fighter in the world, right? So, yeah. But your take though, Rob, on that main event, man.
Well, obviously I picked Jair Rodriguez. I mean, I had to pick all the Mexican fighters as always. I mean, I got to back my raza, but
Racist.
But Alexander, man, I mean, this guy, he's just a beast. He's a goat for a reason. He is who he is, and they showed that picture. You put it in the chat, David. The people that he's beat, and how he's left those fighters. At the end of the day, it's like Volkanovski will destroy you, and he will break you, and he won't play your game, and that's exactly what Alexander did at the end. Yair being the flashy fighter, I don't know, man. There was something off about him that night. It just, I don't know.
Don't make excuses, man. Volk is just that good.
No, I'm not trying to give excuses. I'm just saying, he just didn't.
Those kicks didn't do shit.
No. And I think Volkanovski, cutting him and just taking him down so easy, I think that's what broke Yair. And Yair just couldn't catch up. He was just playing catch up the whole night. So it was a good fight. It was a good back and forth fight. But, coming to the fourth round, Alexander just put a stamp to it. And, champ.
Yeah,
was it third round?
Yeah, third round finish.
Okay, third round.
But Marcel, the question to you though, that third round, you probably landed his best shots in the fight, right? Before he getting flipped, right? Mark, you'd agree too, right?
Yeah.
I gotta say, man, Jair wasn't doing bad in the third round actually, until the clash of hats happened.
Yeah,
that kind of, I'm not going to say that had a huge impact, but it felt like it kind of had an impact because Jair, after that clash of hats, wasn't as fresh anymore, in my opinion, as he was looking in the third round, because it was actually his best round of the three, in my opinion, And after that, I think Volk hit him flush, and he got staggered, and Volk immediately finished it on the ground, So I don't want to say it had something to do with it, but you cannot say it didn't have something to do with it.
It had something to do with it.
So, yeah.
I'm not going to say it wasn't aliens, but it was aliens.
Yeah, no, good point though. Yeah, because I mean,
that's a great point, man. I'm pretty sure a lot of people didn't even. I mean, they probably overlooked that, because Volkanovski's performance was so good. I didn't even remember that until you brought it up. To be quite honest with you, that's fucked up.
Yeah, seeing everybody on this panel, Rob, you're out last week. You guys both had Yair and you guys had Moreno, so I got the bragging rights this week. I nearly had a perfect card.
I had Volkanovski, bro. I wasn't going for Yair.
Volk, so don't even go there. I had Volk.
I had Volk, and I had Brandon Moreno.
I had Yair, Brandon.
If it hadn't been for
that Moreno, that was very close. But that was fight of the year for sure. That's definitely going to be fight of the year candidate. Possibly win it completely. So.
Yeah, in this year so far, it's saying probably one of the best cards, right? In the UFC had.
Well, at least the main card. I mean, it was killer, dude. Whitaker versus Duplessis. I wasn't going for Duplessis, but dude, that motherfucker he's a real deal, man. He's a real deal.
Yeah, is he indeed a problem? I mean, we know what happened after in the cage, and they allowed that, and they probably regret letting it happen. But
regret what? What happened? Tell us word for word, David.
Oh man, yeah.
We tried baiting him.
You got to say word for word. It didn't happen, or you're not a real fight fan.
Yeah.
Well,
Let the Mexican say it. He can say it because
hey, I think there's plenty of videos with bleeped out or however they edited them. But yeah, that was terrible. It was very cringy.
Bro, you know the funniest thing after this was that meme that showed it was somebody talking in Adesanya's ear saying, "Go ahead, just say it over and over again. He can't say it back. Just keep repeating it."
Yeah, really.
He can't say it back. I was like, "Oh my god, bro." But anyways, dude, that performance was awesome. That performance was awesome.
I think
I was very impressed with DDP.
Yeah, and I think Ross Marquis and Scott McKinnon, our guys out there on your side of the world, Marcel, they've been high on Dricus for a while. I've been paying really close attention to his career, and this was definitely the test that he had to pass, which he did with flying colors. Robert Whitaker is one of the best guys in the world at middleweight, and has already been previously champion and beaten just the best guys out there. So Dricus is indeed a problem for Israel Adesanya. And do you guys think that's the main event? They got to book it, or is Sean Strickland somewhat right there? Or starting with you, Rob. What do you think? Bro?
Go ahead, Rudy.
Nah.
I think Sean Strickland's next, man.
Nah.
You think so?
He could be one of the top contenders.
Nah.
Is he going to talk his way to a title fight like Chandler?
He is going to talk his way to a title fight.
No, he's not, bro. He talks shit, dude. He talks shit every time he's on the mic. So it's not like him talking.
To be the main event.
No.
That's why
If they wanted him to be to be the main event, he would have been coming out talking shit to Dricus du Plessis in that at the end of that event. But it
That's
didn't.
True.
It was Adesanya. They brought Adesanya out for a fucking reason, bro. That was all WWE sportsmanship bullshit.
Dana White told Adesanya, you better say the N-word 50,000 times.
I don't think he told him that.
So we can get this hyped up.
I think what he told him was, don't use any stupid Disney references. And he's, okay, I got this. And then when he got there, he fucking froze, forgot his lines, and just said, fuck it, I'm just going to drop the N-word like 100 times. What are they going to do?
Yeah, no, that was, like I said, super cringe. Didn't expect that to even happen like I know we're in like...
Bro, super cringe. Speaking of that, he's like, oh, why don't you take a 26andMe DNA test and see who the real South African is? I was like, what kind of diss is that, number one? And number two, it's 23andMe. What the fuck is 26andMe? That was just weird,
I love
bro.
that line for some reason.
That was off the wall. That was so weird.
But Marcel, your take on, what's the better fight? What fight do you want to see more, the Strickland fight, or do you want DDP out there in Sydney? Because, I mean, there's genuine beef on both sides, right? And both guys are right there.
Brother, I'm still sad that Robert lost, man. But I really didn't see that coming. I'm not gonna lie. I really didn't see that coming. But I mean, listen, with winning via TKO in the second round, I mean, Dricus deserved it. You cannot give him not the title shot. The only thing is he ready to go in September during the main event in Sydney? I don't know, because they asked Dricus and he's like, I'm right after the fight. I'm in adrenaline right now. I cannot tell you, I don't feel an injury, but I don't know in 2 days how it is, if I have something or not. So the thing is, I only see Sean Strickland rolling in that spot if Dricus can fight, and then it's also, don't forget, you have also on, on July 29, you have like Paulo Costa, I guess, Ikram Aliskerov, as that fight happens, and if Aliskerov wins, and I know it is only a second fight, but if he wins, don't be surprised if the UFC is like, oh, we have another one who can maybe fight for a title, So the UFC is going quick. They don't give. I don't know if I can swear here.
Yeah, absolutely.
They don't give a fuck, if they where you're ranked or whatever. If they like you and you give a good fight, and they can bump you up to wherever they want, they will do it. So, I mean, if Aliskerov has a good fight against Costa and he finishes him, for example, it's possible. I don't say it's happening, but it's possible. You have a new contender, maybe, But, I mean, Dricus deserves it. If it's not Dricus, it's probably going to be Sean. But, I mean, either way. But I think Dricus, Adesanya, I mean, you got that promo now. What you're going to do else,
Exactly.
If you're going to say to Adesanya, like, you know what? You get Sean first, and then we do Dricus later.
Had Adesanya not gone into the cage, I'd probably be inclined to say, Sean Strickland's probably next in line. But they threw the promo there. I don't think they did that for just no reason.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah,
Thriller and vanilla.
Yeah, no, it's a quick turnaround.
Did you just say chocolate and vanilla?
No, I said thriller and vanilla.
Oh, I was like, what,
chocolate and vanilla. Where'd you get chocolate and vanilla from?
That's what I heard. Okay.
Wow.
Damn Canadian accent.
Yeah, no,
have the accent.
We have
the accent.
Canada. No, we got Canada, we got Texas, we got New Mexico, and we got the Netherlands. So this is a pretty for International Fight Week just happening. It's a pretty international show. So very necessary. So, but moving down the card, I mean, that kind of sums up, where we're at in the middleweight division. There is some fresh contenders, like you said, Marcel. That fight with Paulo Costa is creeping up. That card is super stacked too, as well. The Salt Lake City card. Very much looking forward to that in a few weeks and breaking those fights down. Moving down on the card, Absolute War, Dan Hooker with a broken hand, Jalen Turner, up and coming killer, and Dan sort of back on this horse, went out there and handled business, and yeah, amazing fight, right? Fight of the night,
sure. Number 2, bro, for me.
Yeah, that was a really good friggin' fight.
Super good fucking fight, bro, and something I didn't expect. I thought Jalen. Well, I kind of did after seeing Jalen miss weight the way he did. He looked kind of defeated, and at the face-offs, it looked, I don't know, man, he just lost that step, and then when he started fighting, it was like, damn, the further the fight dragged, the worse it got for him. And Dan Hooker, just that motherfucker, dude. I don't like betting against him. I hate betting against him.
Yeah, I would have picked the perfect card if it wasn't for Denise Gomez.
I think we all picked Turner last week too. Didn't we?
Yep.
Broken order bone and a broken arm. He still freaking went out there and won.
Yeah.
Dude. And then he's all, it's just a scratch.
Yeah.
Well, Dan Hooker's been around the block, and I mean, that guy, I'll forever remember the fight with Poirier, Absolute War. One of my favorite fights, Dustin Poirier.
But I said it on the last show, bro. I wouldn't be surprised if he wins because he's got that GSP hairdo now, so.
Oh yeah. My God.
that factored in. It had some type of factor.
I guarantee it, bro. That's probably why he won.
But from something we didn't expect, or like you said, Marcel, you didn't expect Robert to take the loss the way he did. We did, in fact, expect Bo Nickel to go out there and shine, given, Val Woodburn, the G, took the fight on 5 days' notice. But Bo Nickel, the striker now, I mean, geez, like, who do we give him? I mean, we're talking to the perfect man. Marcel, you're always breaking the news on the fights. Bo Nickel, what's the best fight out there for him going forward after this big win?
First of all, I was upset with my own pick, man. I picked him by submission first round, but then, listen, man, nothing against Val Woodburn, but dude doesn't have a neck. So why should I pick him by submission? The other guy. I mean, Nickel. I should have picked the knockout, And nothing against no necks because I have barely a neck. So, but, I would like him to see him fight Rodolfo Vieira. Why not? Rodolfo Vieira is a BJJ master. I mean, that would be a fun fight, I think, So, yeah, that's my one.
I like that. That's a very good pick.
I mean, they're going to probably slow play Bo, but they can only slow play it so much because, like, he's going to be in fact, they're showcasing him on main events or main cards. So he's going to get a big name soon. I don't know if they're going to jump the gun. And because, I mean, he's still, pretty green, 5-0. But we've seen this happen before. We've seen what Cain Velasquez come in at 4-0, and he was the champion at 8-0 or 7-0. What was it back in the day? So, but nice. We're talking middleweight, and as far as the middleweight division, we were talking about the DDP and the potential contenders. I think Bo Nickel in like a year's time or so is going to be main eventing, you know what I mean, or in title talk. So,
can I ask you guys an honest question? If you think about Bo Nickel now, and you think about non-ranked middleweights, who do you pick? Which non-ranked middleweights would you pick to win against Bo Nickel at this moment?
Ooh,
give him RoboCop.
RoboCop, that's a good one.
Yeah,
I mean,
because he lost to a prospect, or not necessarily a prospect. He lost to a very big underdog killer. He took a fight on short notice. RoboCop had a lot of momentum going. So yeah, at middleweight, there is some low key killers outside of the top 15, top 20 that I think would knock Bo Nickel out, knock him off, not knock him out. But what do you think, Mark? Though, there was a name out there because yeah, he's gonna get somebody that's a killer next.
I have to agree with you on RoboCop. You know what I mean? Unless there's someone else out the UFC I can pick.
Does RoboCop have a fight booked at the moment?
Yeah, against Dennis Tuliulin in Boston.
That's right. And he just got knocked out, so yeah. But yeah, the middleweight division, Bo Nickel in a year's time.
How about Brendan Allen, Eric Anders?
Dude, yeah.
That's a good one.
Yep.
But the best moment of the night, we gotta admit, given history was made, Volkanovski and the flyweight fight we had, but we had Robbie Lawler go out there and win in 38 seconds.
Oh, dude!
Yeah.
What a way to go
out!
What
a way to leave! He left the way he came in, kicking ass.
He goes out kicking ass. So, but yeah, it's a amazing career. Best way to walk out, and I think Daniel Cormier put it best: go out winning, because it almost never happens, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like a lot of fighters that retired, they retired after a loss, and it's a hard loss.
Yeah,
and for a guy
Bigfoot
like
Silva.
Robbie,
Bigfoot Silva. Hey, he still might go out on a win. He's got a fight book. Let's not forget.
He's got a fight.
Yeah, he got knocked out so bad last time that he retired, and then forgot that he retired and came back to fighting.
And announced that he's coming back.
Yeah.
No, but I was gonna say, for a guy like Robbie Lawler that all of us know and grew up watching him, fight, and all the success that he's had in his MMA career, and for him to walk in and knock this guy out in the first round in 38 seconds is freaking awesome, man. When they showed his the video, after, bro, I was like in tears, man.
Right in the field.
It was right here in the field. I was tearing up just because, all of us here, we all grew up watching Robbie Lawler fighting.
Yeah.
What did we mention? We talked about it last week. He fought on UFC 35 and now fighting on UFC 290. That's epic.
My favorite memory of Robbie Lawler was just telling people that he was Jerry the King Lawler's son. So people fucking believed it, bro. A lot of people believe that shit. And they're probably to this day, 25 years later, saying, he was Jerry the King Lawler's son. He's finally retiring. I remember. That one guy told me. Fucking liar.
That one guy.
Well, good question to ask this panel that we're talking, dating back, with just Robbie's career in general in its entirety. What's one fight that you guys always wanted to see Robbie that he didn't fight? And I'd say myself,
dude.
The Tim Means fight, I've always wanted that. Years and years ago, but starting with you, Rob, I guess what's the one? He's fought them all.
Tim Means, that's a good one right there, man. Me and you are from Albuquerque, we're from New Mexico, and Tim Means is a good friend of ours. So that would have been a good fight. But to pick just like one fighter, damn, bro. You can't. Robbie's fought the who's who, the what's what.
Yeah, is there anybody you can name, Marcel? Because he has fought everybody, and I can only think of Tim because we talked to him about it on the show. We're like, when does that fight happen? Is that going to be the last one? But yeah,
and such a difficult one. Listen, man. For example, he never fought GSP, right?
No.
No,
that's another one. Yeah, GSP is a good one.
That would have been interesting.
Yeah,
I would like to have seen him fight.
Thinking about that.
Vanderlei Silva would have been an interesting one.
I always wanted to see him fight Carlos Newton.
Ooh.
I'm going old school.
He would have dropped Carlos, I think. He would have hurt Carlos bad.
I don't know, man.
I don't know. I think
Are
it would
we
be Carlos
talking
back in the day.
old Carlos or prime Carlos?
Ooh. Okay, good point, Rudy.
Yeah.
I say Vangelis would have been a good one. I would like to have seen him face Brian Stan maybe back in the day. That would have been kind of fun one.
Yeah, that's the Brian Stan fight could have happened. I mean, because like the Strikeforce era, Lawler. I mean, he fought plenty of killers there. Tim Kennedy, Lorenz Larkin, like the Josh Koscheck fight. I'll always remember that bout because I mean
that Manhoff KO is still one of the best ones.
Yeah. But the Johnny Hendricks war, like, I mean, yeah. So,
oh, dude, that Johnny Hendricks fight.
But just
Rory McDonald.
Rory McDonald. I mean,
yeah,
come
but see,
on, man.
that's
Johnny
the thing too.
Hendricks.
Leading up to like all the questions that the media had for Robbie Lawler, like a lot of the fighters, they can only remember the Rory fight. But it's like there's been so many other great fights besides that. That being the given, the epic.
That's the casual. That's a casual go-to, bro. Oh yeah, I know Robbie Lawler. He's Jerry the King Lawler's son, and he did that Rory McDonald fight, right? Ronald McDonald or something.
But Robbie Lawler rides off into the sunset. I'm sure
Rest
Dana
in
gave
peace.
an undisclosed $1 million bonus because
I hope
Dana
so.
deserves it. So
Yeah, do you think that Robbie will still be part of the UFC? Like, do you think Dana White's going to give him like a
Treasurer.
commentary job or some
Treasurer.
a desk job at the UFC
treasurer?
headquarters.
Yeah,
Why not?
Bookkeeper.
medical records.
He will indeed probably get something though. I think he's like one of those guys that Dana's got the, I mean, like he's done it for a few other.
I know exactly what they're gonna have him doing, bro. He's
Oh,
gonna
shit.
join the ranks of Forrest Griffin in catching fighters in power slap.
Ah, yeah. Wow. We'll get to power slap in a bit in the outside the cage news. But as far as the prelims, though, is there a fight that stood out for you guys that somebody keep an eye on? I know Cameron Simon had a huge win. Jesus Aguilar, ridiculous stuff. I think Shannon Ross probably seen his last fight in the UFC, right? I mean,
Yep. I believe he's going to be cut.
Mm.
Is there anybody else out there? Do you think there's a shot that Nico Price fought his last fight in the UFC?
No, I don't think so.
I think this fight for him was. I don't think they'll hold it against him because I think if it would have been any other fighter, he probably would be getting his pink slip. But I think he's still got another fight.
By the way, I gotta bring it up, but I know we have Mexicans here, but Jasmine Joregi, man, I was so bummed seeing her lose because I'm really high on her,
Yes.
And she got steamrolled by Denise Gomez. She got hit by one shot. She wobbled, and Denise went crazy on her, and she got the win. I knew Denise had the power, but I was like, Jasmine, maybe we saw her in the Estela Nunes fight. She also got hit early on, but I was like, she probably learned from that, and she got a little bit more mellow into that fight, but she got full in, she got hit, and it was over. I was kind of surprised, man, because
It was
I'm
embarrassing.
really high on Jasmine. She's really good, I think, and but she's still young. She can still develop and become a top fighter in the division, I think. But this was a pretty big setback that I didn't expect, to be honest.
Yeah, and a lot of people kept on saying all the Mexicans lost.
No, they didn't.
And actually, they didn't. The second fight of the night, Jesus Aguilar versus Shannon Ross. This kid comes out in 17 seconds and starches Shannon Ross. That was impressive, man. And I was like, man, this is starting this night off grete. And then,
hell yeah,
and then
man.
it just went downhill with Yasmin Jauregui.
I went outside waving my Mexican flag and Viva Mexico.
And that seemed like it was the theme of the night, bro. Just like fast, quick finishes. It was insane. I don't know. It had to have been a record for
it was
UFC.
It was indeed a record for stoppages under a minute or so. It was like there's 4 total, I believe. But yeah, along the lines of the Gomez Yasmin fight, I picked Yasmin, and the only fights I did pick wrong was that fight, and then Dan Hooker. I picked Turner, and I had Yasmin. I would have picked the perfect card. So
yeah, Denise Gomez, bro.
Yeah,
that chick, she packs a punch.
Yeah. So quick of a fight, though, just like instantly it was over.
So you lost because of 2 hookers.
But shout out to Alonzo Menafield getting that win back over Jimmy Crute. We know they ran it back. And Alonzo will join us next week. We'll talk about him fresh off that win and see what's next for him at 205. So, but yeah, like that's pretty much. I mean, a cap on the card. What like a grade? Like, what do you guys? I mean, it's kind of like 7, 8 out of 10 in my book. You guys know I'm a pretty harsh critic of it. So
I'm giving it an 8.
I'm gonna give it a 9. I'm giving it a 9.
I'm giving it an 8, man. You know, there was a couple of fights that just undersold for me. One in particular,
well,
Tatsuro Taira versus Edgar Chairez. I mean, Tatsudo, bro, they hype him up, and he's extremely skilled on the ground, you know. But once you start touching this motherfucker, I don't know, he kind of just buckles under the pressure. And I've seen it 2 fights in a row now, and yeah, dude, this dude needs to work on his stand up, and he was kind of getting manhandled on the ground as well. And I didn't expect that. I didn't expect it to go 3 rounds, unanimous decision. I mean, he won the fight, but it just, I don't know. That one just bummed me out because of just how bad he looked, bro. It was horrible. That fight was just, I don't know. That fight didn't do it for me. I didn't like that fight.
Yeah. So what will be the sandwich of the night fight?
Ooh, yeah. I mean, sandwich of the night.
I don't know. If I had to go with anyone, I would probably say the first fight, Kamela Kirk versus Esteban Ribovic. It was a good fight, but forgettable, and it was a unanimous decision.
Yeah.
What is sandwich of the night?
We call the most boring fight of the night the sandwich of the night fight because you can go and get up and make a sandwich.
I get a sandwich. Okay. I go with Petrino against Pragnian.
And the funniest thing is, you know, for the most part, as long as we've been doing it, a lot of the times the sandwich of the nights usually fall on the female fighters.
Yeah.
Which is kind of ironic.
Yeah, no.
And I think we've given like 2 sandwich fights of the night, and they were both female fights. I don't remember what card it was.
Hey, but we've seen main events be sandwich of the night too.
The main events have been sandwich of the night fights, man. Yeah, Marcel, I forgot to tell you that every night or every Thursday night when we do our predictions, we say, okay, so which fights could it be the sandwich of the night fight? So that way we can get up, make our sandwich, come back, and be like, meh. So then we pick, all right, was that the actual sandwich of the night fight, or is there another one? So that's why we call it the sandwich of the night fight. And we're probably the only podcast that has that on the show, of sandwich of the night fight.
And I think I said it last week that this fight, the first fight, was going to be sandwich of the night because all of them were bangers, bro. I thought this whole card was bangers, and you know, that one was forgettable. Second sandwich of the night fight had to have been Tatsuro Taira versus Chairez. The only reason I didn't give it a sandwich is because I wanted to see him win, and I was fucking invested in this fight. You know, I'm watching it, and I was going for him. I was like, when's he going to do something? And I don't know. It was horrible, bro. That dude needs to just work on some shit, and they need to stop overselling him.
Well, we might get to some potential submarine sandwiches in this UFC card this weekend, which will do picks and predictions.
It's one of them those 6 foot Subway sandwiches. You're gonna need it catered, folks. Okay.
Party sub.
Party sub.
But I think
it's gonna be one of those sandwiches that don't implode.
Oh my god.
But I honestly think from sandwiches to that part of the segment or the show, it is that time. We'll get to UFC Fight Night home in Bueno Silva. Marcel, you're going to stick with us, right? Do some picks?
Yeah, sure thing.
Awesome. Okay, Rudy, I think it's that time for the...
What time is it, bro?
Outside the Cage News.
Outside the Cage News.
Yes, indeed. And a lot of times outside the cage news can be more interesting than what happens in the cage. Marcel, you're joining us tonight. You're constantly breaking news, fights. You got a grasp on the game. Most of the fights that get the news broken, they come from you, brother. So shout out to you. You're the man. Glad to have you on. But our segment in Outside the Cage News, we're starting off with the heavyweights, the heavy hitters, the biggest names in the game. We finally have the announcement. It happened last weekend. Jon Jones and Stipe Miocic are fighting. We thought it would never happen. It's happening at MSG. Super necessary, right? Has to happen.
It does.
If it happens.
It better
happen.
I knew it was going to happen. It was just a matter of when.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good fight, man. It's going to be good. I'm picking Jon Jones winning. I mean, we're all on the Jon Jones hype train. So,
I don't know. Let's ask Marcel. I mean,
but,
are you on the Jon Jones hype train?
Yeah, Marcel.
Yeah, well,
I mean, how can I not pick Jon Jones in that fight? I mean, listen, man, I love Stipe as well. Don't get me wrong. Stipe is 41 and haven't fought for ages, in my opinion. So I'm not picking. And the thing is with Jon Jones, many people said the same thing when he came back last time. But Jon Jones, special kind of athlete. He's just a special kind of athlete. I'm not going to pick against him. And I honestly think Jon wins this fight, and I think they both retire. That's what I think is going to happen. So yeah.
Yeah, I could see that, man. A double retirement, first in UFC history.
Dude, that would be fucking crazy.
Well, the way I look at the fight too, what's going to be so epic is how Jon walks out to, or he's previously walked out to the 50 Cent, but he's walked out to "I'm Coming Home." He's from New York. He's walking out to that song at MSG. He goes out on a win. I think in a loss, he retires too. I don't know. It could be some crazy scenario where Stipe catches him. You know what I mean? It could happen.
It's gonna be a double KO. They both retire.
Yeah, it's we've been waiting. We waited 5 years for Jon to come back. He goes out there and we only see him for 1 minute and 38 seconds against Cyril Gane. But I believe this fight won't be anything like that. You know what I mean?
No.
Stipe's been on the shelf, but I believe he's ready. He looks pretty good. You know what I mean? He doesn't say much on the mic. They interviewed him at UFC 290, and it's the same old Stipe. Like, you really don't know. You don't hear anything about him until he's fighting. So that's just the way Stipe rolls.
I loved him in Zombieland.
Yeah.
Well, oh my god!
But we do. I mean, as we get closer to MSG, though, Marcel, I think the fight that we're waiting to hear about is the Colby Covington, Leon Edwards fight, possibly getting added to that card. Have you heard anything, or is anything you can attest to that?
I really haven't heard anything about it. It's like 50-50 is going to be there or not, but I feel like it's got to be there. The co-main behind Jon and Stipe probably. Yeah, I mean, I'm good with it. The division has to move on. Why not? Many people are against like Colby getting a title shot. I don't mind. I don't really mind. I mean, do you want to see Leon against Bilal too? I mean, I can watch paint dry. Let's be more. So yeah.
I think shit. Shots fired, Bilal.
Hey, but last time Colby fought Usman, that was a big gate for the UFC. Colby can, he's going to bring the numbers. You stack it with Jones and Stipe, epic. You know what I mean? And as far as what's been going on in the news, which we will continue on with another huge fight, Francis Ngannou is fighting Tyson Fury. So, I mean, I don't know. The UFC can't line up an event that same night because I think they have, the Abu Dhabi card the week before. So we don't know who's going to main event that. We know Volkanovski's got a little bit of an injury. Charles Oliveira said he's not ready. So we don't know who's going to main event that. But we know it's probably going to be – it's Conor McGregor, right? At this point, it's Conor versus –
It's got to be Conor. And Conor is going to be on the main card, and then Khamzat and what's that other dude's name? Damn, they announced it the other day, bro. Jared Cannonier. It was Jared Cannonier and Khamzat.
Yeah, did they leak that? That's not official, is it, Marcel? Or?
No, it's not official, but I think Khamzat's coach posted a story like doing homework for Khamzat's next opponent, and then somebody on Twitter, I don't know who it was, went frame for frame for Cannonier's fight, and he went with Cannonier Gastelum fight, and he found that same frame. Like, how can you even find that thing? Like in the middle of a fight somewhere, he found that same frame that the coach posted, but he blurred out the fighters, you know. But you saw the same advertisement on the cage. You saw the two people near the cage. So it was like, it was Cannonier, and somebody said, "Is it then Gastelum?" No, Gastelum is booked against Romanov, you know. So. Yep. Yeah, it got to be Cannonier. It's not official yet, but I'd be surprised if it not been announced anytime soon, you know, because there are still no fights booked for that card officially. But officially by the UFC announced, I should say, but there are some fights. There are some rumors on that card. So yeah, looking forward to it.
And main event's got to be juiced up Conor and juiced up Chandler, dude.
No, but worth noting though,
he already has super TRT in him. Because apparently his levels are just crazy, they say, but it's natural. He's natural, but he's just crazy high. I'm like, well, whatever.
Natural. Natural.
But when we
just
do
them all juice up, who cares? Screw it.
When we do actually do and hear about those fights breaking, everybody that's watching and or listening, definitely go follow Marcel Dorff. He's going to break the news. You're going to hear straight from him. And you're going to go to fightbookmma.com and check it out because it's going to be there too as well. So. But
yeah, Marcel, we need to talk after the show, brother.
No problem.
Okay.
But yeah, moving on. Outside the cage news, we talked about Oliveira not being ready. I want to discuss the Volkanovski situation. Like, what are they going to do? Because Islam's got to fight somebody, and it could be Conor, but it's got to be Volk though, right? That's very deserving that Volk gets that rematch, right?
It's not going to be Conor, bro. No way in hell.
They can't. Conor's not even in the testing pool.
They can't do that. That'd be such bullshit.
I mean, if they did in Abu Dhabi, he doesn't have to be in a testing pool. But he doesn't deserve that, bro. He doesn't deserve it.
No, he doesn't.
Bro, you know, Conor has more rape accusations than he has fights in the past 3 years. So let's be real here. He does. I'm not saying that he's guilty.
That's fact.
But you know, it's true. It's true. You know,
it's sad.
I think we're more tired of hearing about it than his fucking wife is. Like, bro, what's up with that shit?
Pretty rough times. And like, I mean, like speaking of that, though,
I love you, Conor. Proper 12.
But the tough series though, 0-7, like wasn't that the worst idea ever?
Like, God, dude. Oh my God.
Dude,
and just to pile shit on top of
fucking episode, dude.
Yo, dude, it's
what?
It's
yeah,
man.
I've watched a bit of it. I'm behind, but I know
I'm behind as well.
Match, so now Team Chandler's up 7-0.
Yeah, and I mean, if it's just one embarrassment after another for Conor McGregor, and you seriously think he has a chance at fighting
the fight, and then he lost.
Nah, I don't think they want to touch him with a 10-foot pole right now.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, Conor is definitely not fighting, but a fight that is happening. And get back to it is Ngannou and Fury. Apparently, Ngannou, they were trying to ruin it. Dana apparently trying to ruin things, and like, I mean, but still, like, we know in fact they could have made the John Jones and Ngannou fight happen. ESPN airs boxing. It's not. I mean, they didn't make it happen. Now Ngannou walks out. He fought out his contract, got a pretty crazy lucrative deal with PFL, and King Ngannou, right? I'm hearing talks of $30 million fighting Fury. So
I can see that.
Yeah,
and I can see Fury coming out with 150 mil.
Yeah, well, yeah. The fight is indeed happening, and I don't know. I mean, the Jake Paul Nate Diaz fight is creeping up on us,
bro. They still haven't sold all the tickets yet. It's pretty embarrassing, and you know, it's a lot of like tickets in the uppers. Yeah, and those are usually the first to sell. So if you're having a problem,
watch
at the American Airlines Arena, right? Dallas is the venue,
I mean, if you're having a hard time selling your uppers, bro.
It's kind of like it's actually kind of like last week we were discussing. Marcel, you probably know more about it. Is what's the situation with the UFC London card? I heard there's still plenty of tickets available, and I know Tom Aspinall making his return. So
aspirin balls.
Why do you think there are so many tickets available, man? I mean, they charge the same money than they did for the pay-per-view in March. So. Yeah. And this card, let's be really honest. Listen, there are some fun fights on this card, but man, Molly McCann as a co-main event. I mean, even LFA wouldn't do that. You know what I mean? So I mean, it's and even listen, I have nothing against Molly McCann. You know, I don't care. But even in England, they are like, what the hell is she co-main event? You know, why? And against Stolyarenko, they give her Stolyarenko because Stolyarenko is 1-5, you know, and they expect Molly to steamroll her. Listen, man, if Stolyarenko is stronger than her and takes her to the ground, Molly is fucked. You know, that's pretty much how it is. You know, if it keeps standing, Molly has a chance. But if she gets her to the ground, she's fucked. And another thing, Stolyarenko fainted on the scales at 135, and now she's having 125. Is that fight even going to happen? You know what I mean?
Probably not.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So, I mean, it's like that card is just not appealing to many of the fans. Listen, there are some low-key bangers with Murphy against Cooley Bow and Wood against Feely. Those are fun fights, you know, but it's not like it doesn't have the wow factor. And even the main event, I mean, Aspinall Tibura, I mean, let's be honest, man. They trying to give Aspinall a layup, looking where he stands in the division, and then pop him up to the top 5. You know, that's pretty much how it is because of the injury he had. But Tibura is not an appealing fight to have on the main event. You know what I'm fighter, you know? So they're fully banking on Aspinall, McCann doing work, you know, and getting the wins in front of the home crowd. But it's just not. Listen, man, you guys live. Most of you all live in America, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go to a card, you want to have some local favorites on it, but you also want to see like the stars of the UFC, right? The better fighters, or every time they come to London, the same people on the card. Every time they go to Paris now as well, probably also again the same people on the card.
It is.
It's like it's just annoying, you know. For at least for me, if there were 2 events in the Netherlands over here, it's like we don't have a lot of Dutch MMA fighters in the UFC, so we don't really have the problem, you know. But it's like every time they go to England, you have or Molly is on the card, or Tom is on the card. Paddy is now not because he's injured. Yeah, it's always Paul Craig. He's always on the card. You know what I mean? It's always always the same. You know, and I mean, I understand that they want to have the locals on the card. That's okay, but sometimes you gotta do it a little bit better. You know, that's how I see it.
I agree with you 100%.
They gotta fly out the fucking top 5, the top 10. You know, fighters to go and fight overseas and bring the people to want to watch these fighters. And like you said, they don't want to watch the local guys. They've seen them so many times that it's like whatever now.
But usually what they do is they'll have them in the crowd, but they need to have them in the cage.
No, they need to see. They want to watch them fight. They don't care if they're in the crowd. You know, they could do that and look them up on YouTube.
Once you've seen these fighters, you know, so many times, it's like, you know, why am I going to spend the money, waste all that time, spend all my whole fucking day, you know, getting ready to go to an event, going to the event, you know, fighting crowds to get beer and drinks and food, and paying overpriced for all of that shit, when I could just do this at home and watch it on a big screen and be comfortable, or even go to a pub, you know, and watch it there. It's cheaper and it's better. You know what I'm saying?
And they also
I know too. Yeah, go ahead, Marcel.
Sorry, they don't care, you know. It's an ESPN Plus card. They are like, we have a main event, we have Molly on the card. Yeah, okay, we are good. It's an ESPN Plus card. If it's an ABC card, they care. You see these ABC cards, they stack them, you know. Pay-per-views, obviously, they try to stack them. I understand it. But ABC cards, they stack it. ESPN Plus, they really don't care. ESPN cards, they will probably put on 3 or 4 good fights, but overall, they also don't care. It's like the ABC cards are really banking on high. These last couple of ABC cards, are really like the Jacksonville card was stacked from top to bottom. The Charlotte card was pretty good as well, you know. So they care about that. It's like, if they but ESPN Plus, people are subscribed to it, so they're like, we got the money, you know.
Yeah, and that's a messed up thing. You would think that the thinking would be the other way around. Like, hey, you know what, we want to put some value into this app that we're providing, the service that we're providing at the price point that $30 a month. I think that's what it's going to be now, isn't it?
You still got to pay for the pay-per-view.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So you would think they'd pump those up a little more. You know, why don't you just pump them all up?
Yeah. Well, I think that's kind of a weird thing that they couldn't figure out to get the Leon and Colby in London, because last time Colby was in London, he was cheered more than the card itself. You know what I mean? So something happened there. They couldn't get it done. Maybe their plans are for Abu Dhabi, but I guess that could have been that probably was their potential main event, but totally dropped the ball on that.
They wanted to have a pay-per-view there. That was the plan, actually, but they couldn't come to agreement with Leon on the money. Leon wanted to have more money. He's like, I have to fight in 3 months again, and I actually don't want to fight Colby. I don't think he deserves it. But if you want to have the fight, guys, you got to pay more, and I'll come. And they're like, we can probably also sell a fight night, And they got a deal with Salt Lake City, with the Delta Center in Utah. So they're like, then we do the pay-per-view card over there, and we make it a fight night in England, putting Tom Aspinall as the main event. So they were like, we're not going to pay extra for Leon against Colby. We can do that later that year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but at least do something about your ticket prices. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean, like you talked to. I heard you, Marcel, talking about like the Apex shows. We all are in agreement with what you said, and I mean, it's limited as far as attendance, but you got to pay a high price to get in the Apex.
Dude.
The fights are not so great. You're paying probably more than a pay-per-view card, and a lot of time. I mean, if you've been to live shows, I'm sure you've been to many. We've all been to them. When you're on that floor level or even cage side and stuff, that's not the best view and not the best seat.
Those are shitty seats.
It's really not. Like, floor seats aren't as great as
the only floor seats I'll take are front row, man. First or second row. Like other than that, it's not worth it, man. It's totally not worth it.
$1,600 for that, man. Imagine paying $1,600 for that card. What's coming up this weekend? I mean,
I used to sell tickets, bro, and I've sold some insane tickets prices, and people on the second, third market, those prices go insane for front row seats, and that's a shitty thing too. Is that once they that these ticket scalpers gobble all these tickets up, and then they sell them 3-4 times the amount, and then find out that the popularity of the event isn't even that great, so they end up underselling and selling those tickets at a discount at the gate. It's fucked up. I hate that.
Yeah, do you guys, or Marcel, do you think you're up there too? I heard talks of the UFC Spain card. Do you think they will pay that extra cost to get the Topuria fight done, maybe against Volk? We know Volk's down to go anywhere to fight and fight the best, and I know they had that face-off afterwards, so they're pretty much, that fight is locked in. We know Volkanovski's a little bit dinged up, but it's nothing major. So what do you think? Spain, that'd be cool if they did do the Spain card. Would they do it for Topuria alone, though,
I think they definitely could. It's getting pretty big, in Spain. I mean, I'm with Eurosport Discovery Plus in the Netherlands, and Spain got the same deal when we got the deal in the Netherlands with them, with the UFC. So Eurosport also has the rights to have the UFC on and do a lot of promotion for Topuria, Joel Alvarez, and also for Espino, who retired now. But they got Danny Barras on the England card as a new Spanish guy. But yeah, man, there was a lot of interest out of Spain, and I think the UFC is banking on that, and they're coming at the right time. They have the right time. They have Topuria. Topuria pretty much, he represents Spain and Georgia, so pretty much two countries, right. He's proud of both, I think he trains in Spain as well, I think the UFC should go definitely to Spain. It's a beautiful country. I mean, it's much hotter than England. In England, it's like 99% of the year is rainy, and Spain is pretty much almost sunny all the time. It's beautiful there. I've been in Spain before. They could do it, man, and even pretty much anywhere. They can go to Madrid. They can go to was it Barcelona? They can do it as well, but I think Madrid probably their favorite because it's like the capital state, right? Mm-hmm. So I'd love to see it, man. I think they can build a good card there. And listen, man, Topuria Volkanovski, that thing would sell out in a minute. I mean, 100%.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, 100%.
But Topuria, is he the guy? Does he think he has a good chance of knocking off the GOAT? Because I mean, I love the fight. Like, Topuria really went out there and just showed out big time against Josh Emmett. That was brutal.
Let's go around the room and ask everybody. I want to know everyone's opinion on this one.
I mean, Volkanovski, he's never lost at the featherweight, so he's the featherweight king. I know Henry Cejudo disagrees. He says he's not quite there to the Aldo level, but in my opinion, Volkanovski probably is the featherweight GOAT, you know, and if Topuria is the guy to do it, I mean, the timing is now. I mean, that guy is just a rising star, killer. Get the opportunity to fight the greatest. If he beats him, it'll be one of 3 fights, you know, 2 to at least fight twice, right?
Yeah. I don't know, man. I think Volkanovski is gonna win, man. If they put that fight, it's hard to put away a guy like Volk, man. But
I'm gonna say it right now. I'm gonna call it right now, bro. I'm gonna say it right now. Topuria has his number.
Hey,
you think so?
I think so, bro. And if they did it in Spain, I guarantee you he'd has his fucking number, bro. I guarantee. And that's because I love Volk. Volk is, bro. I mean, I can't say enough good things about that guy. But I just, you know, I see it. I look at these guys, and you could just tell, man. You could just fucking tell, and I don't know.
What if somehow, what is that card that's in Korea soon? What if somehow like the zombie drops out and they do like Max versus Topuria, and then Max just like beats Topuria, just stops everybody in their tracks on the way to the title, just like he's been doing.
Oh my god,
Marcel.
Nah.
He's on crack, you know.
Nah.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, Max is a GOAT. I mean, shoot, like he's you know, one of the best of all time as well. But yeah, Marcel. I mean, are you that high at Topuria though? That he's at that level where when they face each other, he could potentially, you know, knock him off and take that title.
First of all, I want to say, you guys say Volk is the GOAT. For me personally, I'd say Volk is the best fighter, the best featherweight. For me, the GOAT still Aldo, and that's purely because of title defenses. That's really big to me. But everybody who says Volk is the GOAT, I'll have no problem with, because he definitely can have that stated for me as well, because he's amazing. I'll tell you guys a story. I've been to a Cage Warriors event in Belgium, and there was the main event was Brian Boulot, which was a local guy, against Ilia Topuria back then. I never heard of Ilia Topuria at that moment, and he was undefeated, and he had only submission wins in the first round. So I was like, but it wasn't in Alicante almost all of his fights, you know. And I was like, did they take this guy to make Boulan look good? Was for the bantamweight title, it was back then. I didn't know. They even flew out, I think, Jean-Claude Van Damme to do some presser with Boulan, you know, before the fight. And I was like, I think they just got that guy on the card to make Boulan look good and get the title, you know. Then the fight starts. By the way, Topuria missed weight for that fight, for the bantamweight, so he couldn't win the title. So only the Belgian guy was eligible to win. The fight started. He chokes him unconscious within 1.5 minutes. So I was like, dude, this guy is good, you know, and I was really impressed. And from that moment, I always followed Topuria. And when he came into the UFC, I know this guy's good, you know, and I never picked against him so far in his career, you know. But Volk, can I pick against a guy as Volk, you know? He's so proven. And it took me a long time to give Volk the respect, actually. I remember picking against Volk against Jeremy Kennedy. I picked against him against Chad Mendes. I picked against him against Jose Aldo. Then I picked against him against Max Holloway. And then finally, after that fight, I was like, okay, I should shut up. And Volk is just great, you know?
Same, bro. Same.
And yeah, and since then, I just cannot pick against him. And let's not forget, Topuria is still super young. Yeah. If he loses to Volk right now, he will be a champion one day, I think. But maybe not now, but maybe in 3 years, you know. We'll see.
Yeah, because him fighting him now, I mean, he is definitely can get better. Volk, I think, is pretty much a finished product at this point, and the best. I mean, he knows he's the big moment is Volk's moment. Anytime it's a big-time card, big event, no pressure on Volk. He goes out there and shows out, just like he did against a young killer in Yair, which I have the most respect for Volk for taking that fight and just fighting all. I mean, there's not many contenders left other than Ilia Topuria. And I wish, well, Magomed Shapira, still one of my favorite guys. I know he retired super early. I mean, shoot, you never know. But he was supposed to fight Yair a couple of times. But featherweight king all time. I mean, yeah, much respect to Aldo. I know they had the Hall of Fame ceremony. He got in very much.
That was awesome.
Title reigns like that just don't happen, and I believe Volk is at the point now where he's got the longest reign, like 1,300 days as the champion, right? Is that correct?
I think so.
Possibly.
He's got the officially now because as featherweight champion. So I don't know if he can complete the double champ deal, but I kind of hope that they do in fact get that fight lined up if that's what they want to do. Because who's Islam going to fight other than Conor McGregor? Come on, that's not happening. No. Chandler, I don't know. I have a feeling they could throw Chandler in there. There's a shot Islam and Chandler happens. I'm gonna throw it out there in the world.
Chandler said he's willing to fight him, so
yeah.
You know what's a fucked up situation about this one? You know, if they do Volk against Islam again and say Islam wins again, they're gonna keep saying Islam, you only defeated one ranked guy at lightweight, and that was Charles Oliveira. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's basically true, you know, but I mean,
yeah.
That's a fucked up thing, you know. They say like you won against Volk this time, yeah. You beat him last time, you did it again, yeah. But he's a featherweight actually, so that's what they're gonna say. A lot of people actually, I still think Volk is a great fighter. So, and I think it was very competitive the first time. He deserves a rematch, but I mean, it's pretty much the best fight they can make. Now, Charles Oliveira cannot fight Islam in Abu Dhabi. Islam wants to fight in Abu Dhabi. Do the second Volk fight. I mean, why not? If they both wanted. And Volk said he had a minor injury, but he said it would be settled in October. I mean, yeah, why not?
Yeah, and I think we'll probably see a lot of the fights that we've been discussing. We'll see all of those fights happen or announced before Conor McGregor even sets foot in that cage again, right? And you know what? Along the lines of GSP, we talked about it a little bit last week, but I know he's talking about potentially, saying the Diaz brothers, Khabib. I know, Mark, you said Khabib. We know he's coming back.
Dana White wants Khabib for the grappling match. That's what Dana White wants.
Oh, and Dylan Dennis wants to fight GSP in the grappling match.
GSP would mop the floor with. I'm not even gonna say his name.
Dildo Danis.
I mean, that's it. Because we were talking about the karate combat thing, like even like Luke Rockhold transitioning, going over there. Like, I'd love to see Luke Rockhold in
Luke Rockhold's transitioning.
Well,
is his name Lucina?
Oh, like the karate combat. Okay, my bad, bro. I was gonna say that's breaking news.
I know.
That's big time breaking news.
Well, Marcel's a big kickboxing guy, so I'm sure you enjoy the karate combat stuff, right? So
I thought you was going to say something else. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Because we have like a beauty pageant here in the Netherlands.
Oh God!
You guys probably read it on the
your
internet.
Your winner looks like Bill Hader from Saturday Night Live. Oh God, for reals.
I mean, that's what I thought you was going to refer to. So. Yeah, I mean, yeah, of course, I love kickboxing, but the thing is, like, I'm really more invested into, or also karate, but I'm really more invested into MMA if I have to make a choice, you know. So I like karate combat. I think it's fun to watch. But if I have to choose between karate combat and an MMA event, I will always tune in an MMA event.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Karjitsu?
Excuse me?
Karjitsu. What are your thoughts on that? Do you know what that is?
No, not even.
It's a jiu-jitsu in a car. It's like this big Russian thing.
It's like with the seat belts.
Yeah. You know, I wasn't 100% sold on that shit, and I've watched it before, and the matches are, they're kind of crazy. But I saw this one the other day, and it was like it went like all 3 rounds or some and these guys, I mean, it was intense. It was fucking intense, and I was like 100% invested in this fight, and I was like, wow, if all of the fights are like this would be amazing. This would be an amazing sport.
You let me know when they put that, when they have a very small car and they put 2 fat guys in it. I will watch it.
Oh God! Well, these guys were really big dudes. These were really big dudes in a small car, and it was crazy, bro. I mean, it was insane. They didn't even use seatbelts or anything, but it was fucked up. It was a fucked up match, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. If you don't watch Karjitsu, you're not a real fight fan.
Yeah. So I'm friends with the owner of Karjitsu, JT Tilley, and he owns Slap Fight Championship, and he's part of the Power Slap. So I actually text him, and he's like, "Hey, anytime you guys want me on the show, I'll get on the show." So
yeah,
I'm gonna get him on the show just for that, Rudy.
Bro,
so
I want to compete in Karjitsu, bro.
Oh, hell
And you know
yeah.
what? I'm gonna call out my first victim, John Dodson.
John's been doing big things. He's been smashing everybody. So yeah, he's on a roll.
Hey, but when you're in a car next to me, it's 100% different, bro.
Yeah, it is.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
man.
But one topic to close out the outside the cage news. Well, I wanted to ask you what your take on it, though, Marcel. Do you watch Power Slap? Or I know it happened last week. We've had a couple of the guys on our show in a few like previous to their events. But I heard there's like a game coming out. There's apparently Power Slap, the video game.
Okay,
Dana White said that it's happening. But do you watch Power Slap though?
No, I don't watch it. I don't mind people watching it. For everybody, there's something to watch. If you enjoy it, enjoy it. But it's not really something I entertain. I got happy about or whatever to watch. And then the Power Stop game, I think that would be a really fun game, right? You just have one button,
Yeah,
Pretty much.
You just
It sounds like it's gonna be
They don't need to do it.
It's gonna be a phone game.
Wii.
It's gonna be a phone game.
They need
It
to
has
do it
to
on
be.
the Wii.
yeah.
Or VR.
Wii.
Do it VR.
Yeah, that'd be hilarious.
Hey, they're gonna do it. Like, yeah, they heard it here right now today, so they're doing it.
I like Power Slap because I mean they show it on a weekday that really nobody's doing anything. There's not much going on, and they pick their days, their nights to hold an event like their pay-per-view when nothing else is happening. So they do a really good job with that, and it's entertaining. If you're not doing anything else, it's fun to watch people slap the shit out of each other. It is.
They also did it because I know we talked about it a little bit last week, but previous International Fight Week, they'd have 3 events, on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, but they included Power Slap this time around. That's Dana White's deal, and we've seen Cowboy out there, we've seen Robbie Lawler, we've seen all of them out there hanging out with our people that we know, at Power Slap. So eventually, I would love to attend one of those shows, but of course they're at the Apex, and hopefully we can talk to JT, be exclusive somewhat to Power Slap, and go check that out. I know their next event's August 9th, and our boy Robert has got a fight coming up too. I just heard about it today. So, but yeah, Power Slap. We've discussed it from the inception on this show. Rudy Lara made me a fan, and I just want to support the guy. We had a couple of guys on the show, so looking forward to the next show because last week was pretty epic too.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a fun event. I enjoyed it, and I like it, bro. I don't care what anybody says. And you know what makes me like it even more is all the haters. And I don't see that as much anymore. There was a lot of haters when it first came out. A lot of people talking shit on the Power Slap.
Because you converted that.
Yeah, the Power Slap page on Dana White's page, and they just talking shit if you supported it or even hinted that you liked it. And I like Marcel's take on it. It's like, you know what, that's not for me. He didn't bash it, he didn't talk shit about it. A lot of people do, and it's just dumb. It's like, did you even watch it? No. Then how could you talk shit about something you don't watch? I don't get that.
There are a lot of people who are watching reality TV, I don't give a shit about it, but if you like it, watch it,
Right.
You do nothing wrong with me with it. That's with everything, I see sometimes a lot of with other sports as well, that other athletes burn down other sports. And I'm like, you don't have to watch it, but you don't have to burn it down, I always it doesn't get the other thing that you like better to burn the other thing down. You know what I mean? Just support what you like, watch what you like, and then it's okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, but Rudy trolled all the haters, and he converted all of them to Power Slap.
Yeah.
That's why there's not a lot of haters on Twitter right now.
Single-handedly, our producer Rudy Lara.
Yeah, our producer Rudy Lara. Oh, shit.
So let's get to the next part of our show where we break down the fight poster for Home versus Bueno Silva. What do you guys think?
Yeah, well, it's Marcel's background right now, which is very proper. And lately, I loved last week's fight poster because on this show, Marcel, we do, in fact, grade the UFC fight poster because we've caught him a few times using the same design, and some of them are just what? I know there's last-minute replacements, stuff like that happens all the time, but they are just slapping these posters together. But this one, I don't mind it. I gotta say.
I don't mind it either. I'm gonna give it a 5. It's very clean. It's very clean. There's nothing flashy about it, so I'm gonna meet them in the middle. I'm gonna give it a 5.
I'm gonna give it a 4.
I'm giving it a 5 as well because it's pretty basic and plain.
Yeah.
It looks great. It looks amazing, but the biggest thing that I have a problem with is it's not like a poster size. It's a weird fucking size poster. It's not like your normal, poster size, marquee poster size. And it got a lot of shit, a lot of hate. This poster got a lot of hate, bro. If you look up,
I think
a lot of fans didn't like
this whole
this
trend of like poster criticism. That we on this show, 180 episodes in, we've graded them all. So because I mean it's part of
we're the only podcast that grades the fight poster and have sandwich of the night fight.
I like it.
But the UFC, it's back. Wait, go ahead, Marcel. Sorry.
I mean, like, listen, I like the blue collar, but it's really basic, like Rudy says, really basic, Why does Mayra Bueno Silva look like a 70-year-old grandma on this poster? I mean, you got to do something better. Sometimes I'm like, the UFC likes to do something with graphics, and then I'm like, it's like two grandmothers are fighting here, man. Make them a little bit more pop, make the faces a little bit more pop, make it look good, I mean, you work with graphics, you work with filters or whatever, but you make them actually look older than they are,
So, yeah, they went with this like oil painting type, texture, and it just made them look old.
Yeah, it's when you go to a tattoo artist, and you want to have your grandmother on your shoulder or something, and then they're gonna do like the really specific detail of every wrinkle and that kind of. You don't want that, you know what I mean?
And then you end up walking out of the tattoo shop with Mayra Bueno on your arm.
Yeah.
Exactly. And they're not even really even facing each other. Holly Holm is on her side, and Bueno Silva is facing her like Holling's like, say to Bueno like, whatever.
Well, we've graded so many of these posters. We've seen them reuse the same photos or just like the worst photos possible.
We've caught them using the same backgrounds.
Dude.
Yeah, we've happened. Yeah, the Michelle. Yeah, the Watterson car. What's the worst poster ever that we say? There's plenty of them out there, but
we've seen some shit ones.
Wasn't it like Mackenzie Dern was on it? Well, for me, it was Mackenzie Dern and I don't remember.
Was it a recent one?
It was pretty recent, bro. It was like some kind of water drop bullshit. It was so stupid. Who?
Oh, that was Jan Shonan.
Yeah, that one. It was that one. Oh God, I hated that poster. It was ugly.
Dude, we gave that poster a fucking ass.
Yeah, the whole asshole.
You know what poster I hated? The one with the pay-per-view for Conor McGregor against Cowboy, where you had Conor like really big, half. And you have Cowboy like scaled really small.
Yeah.
No respect.
Yeah, but scaled in a normal way, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
dude.
The Anderson Silva Uriah Hall is still a crown jewel of like one of the worst posters they've ever done.
I like that one. I liked it.
So what's the Halloween one, right?
It was a Halloween. It had like the Halloween vibes to it. So I liked it. I don't hate that one.
Or the one with Legos.
Oh yeah, but I mean, they've used the same stuff like time and time again. But yeah, this one with Holly Holm, pretty sure this Holly picture is like from like 8 years ago too, or something like that.
At least remember the Pride poster where they had a mother nursing a baby.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the Pride posters are cool of late.
Yeah.
But,
I forgot about that one.
Bellator just doesn't care. They're just like red, white, and black. Blam. Yeah. Here you go. Here's a picture of Yoel Romero and Nemkov. Take it.
It's like, man, they don't pay me enough for this shit here.
I know, right? AI probably just generated all these fight posters.
Probably.
Yeah.
Because I know there's Eagle FC stuff that like was great, better than any of the UFC posters when they had their events. Is Eagle FC still a thing?
I don't know, man. I haven't heard anything of Eagle FC, man. I know Masvidal was promoting the Bare Knuckle MMA event. with JDS and what the fuck's his name?
Verdum.
Verdum, there you go. I know he was promoting that fight. So, but as far as Eagle FC, I haven't heard anything, man.
Yeah, JDS for Doom. Have you heard anything, Marcel, about the Masvidal thing too? He signed a deal, but it still hasn't been announced.
No, the thing when he posted that, he said,
Really?
but I think he actually meant the Dos Santos against Verdum was signed. That's what I think he meant when he posted that, you know? And many people thought that he was like, I have a fight, but...
Gotta do the Verdum face, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, I missed that, actually. I didn't like it when he did it the whole time, but now I'm missing it.
We will see him again against JDS, of all people,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, of all people, I know.
But,
shit.
to the UFC fight night. UFC is back at the Apex, unfortunately. 13 fights slated. We don't know if all these fights are going to stay intact. Of course, we know they got to meet the scale before they meet their opponent. So, I mean, I guess we could do the main card pick-ems. I mean,
yeah, because we don't have enough time.
Yeah.
But the main card is kicking off with, I mean, a lot of casuals will probably only know, like, McKinney and who else? Well, Dure and Gion Park is a dope fight, too. But we will start, indeed, with Terrence McKinney against Nazim Sidikov. And it's 155. Terrence McKinney's ranked number 27. Nazim is 88. So a little far out there in the realm of relevant lightweights. But I think Terrence McKinney is an action fighter. And in my opinion, I mean, I give my quick take. If McKinney doesn't get it done quick, the cardio will be in question. And Nazim is a killer. And I think he can smash if it goes past the first round.
Yeah, man. Terrence McKinney is coming in off of one loss against Ismail Bonfim, and Sadikov is, I mean, he's on quite the tear, man. He hasn't lost in quite some time.
He's a Cerro Longo guy too, so I'm always about the Cerro Longo people as well. So
he's a minus 150 favorite, plus 125 underdog for Terrence McKinney. So the odds are pretty close. I don't think McKinney is gonna be able to pull this one off, man.
Nah, man, I think Nazim's gonna fucking put a tear on him. It's gotta pass the first round though. It has to go through the first round. Come to the late second round. I think Nazim is where he's gonna start, putting pedal to the metal and beat the shit out of Terrence, man.
Marcel.
Difficult one for me, you know. I think it's pretty much through what you guys said. Like Terrence, if it goes past the first round, he got in trouble normally all the time. You know, his cardio is not what it is. If you look at Nazim, he had a really good fight in Contender Series, but his debut against Evan Elder, he won because he landed a good shot and it cut open Evan Elder, but he was behind on the scorecards 2018, you know. Taking that in consideration is a difficult one because I feel like Terrence McKinney has the power to put him away. At the other hand, if it goes further than the second round, I think Sadikov wins the fight. But man, it's like Terrence is the underdog here, so I'm playing with the underdog here. I'm going with McKinney, first round knockout. If he doesn't do it in the first round, Sadikov has the fight probably. But I'm going with McKinney here with a very definitely not sure, really 50-50 for me here.
Yeah, I think the majority of people on Tapology are going with McKinney, 54%, Sadikov 46%, and that's kind of reflective of the odds itself. You know, he's coming in as a slight underdog, and that might get a little closer come tomorrow when weigh-ins. But I'm personally going Sadikov. I think he's going to win by decision.
And Mark, who do you got?
McKinney first round KO, but most likely he's going to lose by decision.
Well, moving on to the main card, we pretty much, it's Norma Dumont versus Chelsea Chandler. We pretty much just give Norma Dumont the 45 title, right, Marcel? Because I mean,
fuck no.
Might as well.
Like, I mean, this should be for the interim title, in my opinion. But Chelsea Chandler hasn't fought like the competition Norma Dumont has. She's pretty much the gatekeeper. And geez, man, like it'd be a big time upset. I don't think Chandler. Big time upset. I'm sure the odds reflect that. I'm going Norma Dumont, absolutely. So
no, the odds don't reflect that. Chelsea Chandler is plus 116 underdog, slight underdog. Norma Dumont's minus 140 favorite. And I'm going with an underdog Chelsea Chandler to win this. She may not have the experience, but in her fights, she's a finisher, bro. She finishes. Norma Dumont, not so much. All her fights they're all decisions. She even loses by decision. So I'm going Chelsea Chandler. I think she's gonna put her away, man. She's gonna bully her and put her away.
Rob,
I agree.
I'm gonna have to agree with Rudy on this, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's a decision maker for Dumont. I mean, that's all she's good at, was either losing or winning by decision. So, I mean, what is she gonna bring to the table? Nothing that Chandler can't do. You know what I mean? So, I think Chandler. It's gonna be a close fight, yeah, for sure. But yeah, I totally agree with Rudy.
But Marcel, though, featherweight interim title, right? Norma Dumont.
Yeah, I mean, you could why interim, because it's vacant, right? It should be for
real.
Yeah,
true. Yes, you're right. Yeah,
but
that should be. But
listen, for our own personal reasons, if Norma grapples for 50 minutes and she's on top, I'm all good with it. But yeah, to be really honest, I'm also with Chandler here, man. Norma doesn't finish often, you know, and I feel like as further the fight always goes, she kind of slows down always, you know. And with Chelsea Chandler, she has that nastiness in her that she wants to take out the opponent. She got that almost that. Yeah, she's from Stockton, right?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That's what being from Stockton's all about. Represent, man. That's what she's wearing.
I'm picking her with the knockout in the first round, man.
Yeah,
nice.
That is true, though. She is a NorCal kill or be killed style. So I think the fight is on the main card where it's at for a reason, very proper, showcasing these two ladies. And then Norma Dumont's been, you know, one of the only active women's featherweight fighters, you know what I mean? So Chandler can go out there and make a little statement, get a win. Yeah, man, I'm interested in the fight. It's properly played. So moving on the main card, pretty much an action fight too. I mean, Albert Duraev is always in some wars. Ji-Yoon Park, I always count him out. I pick against him every time. Usually,
I always pick him.
Yeah,
I always pick the Iron Turtle.
I don't know. Starting with you, Mark. I don't know who you got. We'll go right to left.
You know who
Mark.
I got already? The Iron Turtle. Let's go.
Okay.
Iron Turtle by submission.
Marcel, who you got, man?
The thing is, man, with Duraev, I always said he's super good, but UFC signed him way too late, in my opinion, you know? When he was in his prime, he was in ACB. I think he was a double champ there, was really good. But besides his Dana White Contender Series fight, I haven't seen the Albert Duraev I saw in Russia, you know? And John Young Park actually looks better every time I see him in the cage.
Yep.
So I got to give him the benefit of the doubt here. I'm going with John Young Park, and I'm picking him with a late finish or a decision, but I'm going safe. I'm picking a decision, but I'm going with John Young Park here.
Rob, who you got?
See, John Young Park, man.
Yeah,
Iron Turtle.
John Young Park, second round submission for me.
Yeah, so I'm going to continue my trend of picking his fights wrong, and I'm going to pick Duraev, and you guys are all going to be right now. I'll go Duraev decision. It'll be a fucking war. I have a feeling so.
And you know the odds kind of reflect that. All these odds are really close on this fight, so this card is going to be really good, really close, really intense. Albert Duraev plus 130 underdog, slight underdog. Jun Young Park is a minus 155 favorite. But moving on to the next fight, I want to talk about this one, David. It's Otman Azatair versus Mexican Drew Dober, Francisco Prado.
Yeah, that is Mexican.
It's a Mexican fucking Drew Dober, man. Look at this guy. Come on, bro. I mean, I gotta be the first person to say that shit. Look at this dude. It's Mexican Drew Dober.
He's the cousin of Drew Dober.
He looks like he crunches rocks for a living. Okay.
Yeah, he does.
Because I mean, he had a amazing run. He only took his recent loss to a veteran in Malarkey. You know what I mean? But Otman Azaitar, what did he do? He smuggled potatoes into Abu Dhabi, right?
Yeah, dude.
What a shitty thing to get caught for, dude.
The potato man.
The potato
man.
You're the booger man now.
Oh man, that's still cringe, but it was cool though. It was necessary.
You're the potato man now.
But yeah, Otman Azaitar, like these guys are pretty far on rankings for them to be this high up on the card. But I mean, I'm pretty sure this fight will deliver I think a finish happens. Azaitar he usually goes out there and finishes. You know what I mean? So Prado just took a loss, and if he has the chin, you know what I mean, of his brother or his dad, then he got a chance to hang in there too. You know what I mean? Because definitely looks
his brother
just like Drew Dober. I mean, I'm amazing. But I'm going with the Potato Meister second round finish.
Same here.
Yeah, man, the odds are real close on this. Plus 110 underdog for Azaitar. Mexican Dober minus 135 favorite. This is a pick'em's fight. If I'm gonna go with anybody, I guess I'm gonna go with Azaitar because Drew Dober just got chinned, and his little brother's gonna get the same treatment.
Ooh. Yeah, it's a hard card to pick. It'd probably make money on, but still, we reflect, the odds on this one, and they're very close. But Marcel, who do you got in this one, though, man? It's super close too.
Yeah, man. I mean, we saw Prado against Malarkey. It was a short notice fight for him. He got out wrestled in that fight. Azaitar, we're behind on the dudes, to be really honest. Although he got the 2 quick knockout wins against Kamawordi and Timo Pacala in the UFC. Against Fravula, he got starched. Definitely a finish in this fight. Both guys are finishers. I'm going with Prado here. I'm not going with Azaitar, although he can knock him out early, but I think Prado wins in the later rounds, maybe with submission, second or third round.
Yeah. Mexican Dober.
Mexican Dober.
He's like, I'm from Argentina, dickhead.
Yeah, but that Matt Favola guy, he's definitely killing
steamroller.
But moving on to the co-main event, I know Jack was supposed to fight last week. I think Marcel, you broke the news about his opponent and everything that happened with that, and now he's got to fight the Fury FC welterweight champion, right? And Basil Hafez. What's your take on the fight? You start with you, Marcel.
The only thing I worry about is that Jack has to cut weight again to welterweight, because he cut to welterweight last time because the weigh-ins were done, and he has to do now again. With that said, man, Jack is so good. I mean, we've seen him all. He had one of the best fights in the contender series against Ainge Lusa that went to a decision. Since then, all finishes in the UFC, knockouts. Only the last one was a submission against Randy Brown. I mean, dude is really good, and dude looks like in his 30s, but he's in his 20s, man. And he's good. I really like him. I think he's a big talent. Yeah, I cannot pick Hafez. I think Hafez is a talented guy, but I'm not gonna pick against Jack Della Maddalena. By the way, he has to change his name, dude. His actual name is Giacomo Della Maddalena, not Jack. He went with Jack because he's in Australia, but he's actually from Italian heritage.
Giacomo. Okay, wow.
Yeah, man, that sounds much cooler than Jack, I think.
It does.
So, yeah.
I'm pretty sure all of us on this panel are agreeing that there's no picking against Jack Della Maddalena at this point.
I'm picking against him and his crooked nose. No, I'm just kidding.
I just wanted to see him fight more big names because, man, Randy Brown pretty much lit a fire under him, and Jack went out there and just ran through him that not many guys have done. So I expect the same here. I know it's Basil's debut. Yeah, it's a very damn tough debut against JDM. He's an absolute savage.
Nobody's giving him a chance, bro. Minus 625, huge favor for Jack Maddalena. And Basil Hafez is a plus 450 heavy underdog. Tapology's got Maddalena winning this fight 97%, bro. I mean, there's 3% of people giving Hafez a chance.
His family members and his training partners.
Right, his family member, training partners, and Mexican Drew Dober.
Well, there's only one fight left of the night, and it's another Holly Holm main event. Mayra Bueno Silva, and man, Holly Holm, she's just, it's always a Holly Holm main event, right? I mean, we're here in New Mexico. Robert and I followed Holly's career since the beginning. I've been to Holly Holm boxing fights. I called her over Rousey on ESPN radio years ago when nobody thought she had a chance. Holly's fought the best. Hall of Famer. I don't know when she does decide to call it, but she's basically one fight away from the title, right? Is what she's talking.
Yeah, like always. Just one
away from the title. But it is still a Holly Holm fight. we're going to be seeing a lot of air kicks, um, a lot of. So I mean, what more could we expect when we see Holly Holm fight? It's a lot of air kicks, missing the fighter. It's
A lot of
She was
clinching.
dominant last time. Her last fight, she
not
was
yeah, a lot of flinching.
No, a lot of clinching, bro. There's gonna be a lot of
Oh, I
clinching.
said flinching. A lot of clinching. Yeah, that's true. But she is fighting a very, very talented fighter in Mayra Bueno Silva. I think it's. I feel it's going to be a good fight. Obviously, I am from me and David are from New Mexico, and I never pick against Holly Holm no matter what. So I'm picking Holly Holm again, and that's who I feel that could win.
How does she lose how does Bueno Silva win the fight, Marcel?
Not. Yeah, I mean, Bueno Silva, she's not bad, but I think Holly Holm is still a level above, in my opinion. I mean, Mayra Bueno Silva, if she can dictate with the ground game, maybe, but I don't see it, man. I think Holly keeps her distance, and she just box her up and kickbox her up for 5 rounds, probably gets a decision win there. And believe me, dude, if Holm wins, she gets a title fight against.
For sure.
I think they match her up against Pena because, listen, Pennington is there as well. Nobody wants to see the third fight between them, So we're going to see probably Holm against Pena. That's a fresh fight. And then they can do that for the bantamweight title. So I think that's what's going to happen if she wins. And by the way, listen, man, I know Holly Holm is still one of the biggest names in women MMA for everybody, Either you like her or dislike her, to watch. She is still one of the biggest names for the UFC. That's why she pretty much always in main events, So they're definitely going to put her in for the title if she wins here. So she's right what she said in the presser. I need one fight I need one more win or one more fight to fight for a title. And if she wins this one, she fights for a title. That's what I think. Plus, they need title fights to fill up upcoming cards, So yeah. So
Holly Holm's a -165 slight favorite, +135 slight underdog for Mayra Bueno Silva. I don't know, man. I love Holly Holm, but you got to remember she's 41 years old. She doesn't look like she skipped a beat at all in her last fight. However, Mayra Bueno Silva, in the past 2 years that she's really been doing things. She lost against Manon Fiorot in a unanimous decision, which I thought she was going to get absolutely destroyed, but she made it an entertaining fight. After that, bro, I've seen her, this chick, and I picked against her, I think, every time after that Manon fight, and she's won. And I think they were all finished, except for, Yanan Wu. That was a unanimous decision. But she seems to be improving her game, her stand up, and when she realizes she can't match somebody standing up, she takes it to the ground and finishes them. I'm gonna go with the underdog, Mayra Bueno Silva. I think she's gonna pull off an upset win and submit Holly Holm and retire.
Yeah, it's an interesting take. Yeah, because we know the Jackson Wink game; they're very good in the clinch. Holly's got a definite game plan for this fight, and probably to avoid the ground. But I bet Silva can get her down, hold her down in any of the early rounds. It changes everything up in the fight, and I think she may in fact will do that. I think Bueno Silva has a better game plan than Holly Holm, and Holly may have lost a step. You know what I mean? So Bueno Silva decision. Holly's hard to finish. Geez, like amazing stuff that she's done out there and fought the best. So I don't know. She's number 2 against number 8. They need new contenders. I won't hate Holly Holm fighting Pena again and getting one last shot. That might in fact be added to MSG, you know what I mean? So there's enough time for that to happen. But yeah, I'll go with Rudy. I'm with Rudy Bueno Silva. You know what I mean? I like it. An upset's gonna happen here.
Wrong.
Hopefully it's not a sandwich of the night fight though.
Nah,
I was waiting for Rudy to say sandwich, but
this ain't a sandwich of the night.
That sandwich of the night's probably gonna be Dumont versus Chandler. Or you know what? No, I'm wrong. Estela Nunez versus Dudakova. I think Dudakova is just gonna mop the floor with Estela Nunez and rid the UFC of her once and for all. She's lost 3 in a row, and she's not very impressive. maybe standing up, but I don't think this is going to be standing up. She's going to be taken down repeatedly and smothered by this beautiful Russian Victoria Dudakova.
I'm sandwich of the night is Ashley Evans Smith and Aylin Perez.
You know what? Yeah, there you go.
That's the sandwich of the night.
That sandwich of the fucking night.
That way's gonna be great.
Ashley Evans Smith.
I'm calling now. There's going to be 2 sandwich fights of the night, and we just called them.
Yeah, we did.
So buy enough bread and sandwich meat, folks.
Yeah,
the way's gonna be worth it.
Double decker.
You're gonna get your sandwich pick quick. You better get it done early.
Oh man! All right, guys. Time has caught up to us. It's actually passed us a bunch of time. Bro, Marcel, dude, thank you so much, man, for hanging out with us. Hopefully, you had a lot of fun. You know, we're a different kind of a podcast. You know, we talk shit, we make fun of people, but we make it entertaining, man.
Yeah,
hey, we make fun of ourselves. I make fun of Rudy all the time. And Mark.
Exactly.
Yeah. A lot of fun here, guys. A really pleasure to be here. I hope anytime if you want to have me back, let me know. I'll definitely come back on. I love to be here with you guys. It was a great time, you know.
We'll do it again. And Marcel, where can we all find everybody that's watching or listening? Where can we find you on social media? Because we always have that. You're not a real fight fan thing at the beginning of the show. So if people out here listening, if you don't know who Big Marcel is, you're not a real fight fan, but let them know where to find you at social media.
Big Marcel 24 on Twitter, Instagram, and OnlyFans. No, just kidding, not on OnlyFans. Twitter and Instagram, pretty much. Yeah, that's it. I have also a YouTube account. Don't do much with it. Recently did an interview with Shane Burgos, but that's the only like MMA related interview I have on it. So yeah, that's it. And
Awesome.
Eurosport.nl, where my articles are, but they're in Dutch. But yeah, you have a beautiful translate button. So if you want, but I mean, you can also find that on the English website. So you don't have really too much on it. Most of my news I put out on Twitter and Instagram. So.
Cool. Yeah, definitely. Awesome. Everybody listening, go follow Marcel. Check him out. If you want the latest fight bookings, definitely go to Marcel's page because he's definitely the man. He's always breaking the news. Years and years now, so real fight fan shit. So appreciate your time though, Marcel. I know it's late over there on your side of the world, but we will definitely do it again. Maybe for Nate and Jake Paul. We'll keep in touch and give you a shout. We'll maybe do it then.
Sure, hit me up. I'm there. Thanks, guys.
Right on. Awesome. Well, everybody, thanks for watching and or listening. We really do appreciate your support. I know we went to overtime. Rudy holding the butter knife, according to Marcel.
Oh, I mean the knife of justice.
The butter knife of justice, according to Marcel. Please find all the latest news at fightbookmma.com. Follow us on all our social medias. And thanks to Marcel for jumping on. David, you know what to do, bro.
Yes, sir. Thank you for everybody that's watching and or listening. For all our previous episodes, go to wherever you get your podcast. Look us up. Fightbook MMA, sitting ringside. This is episode 180. It's been a fun time. We'll do it again. And if you want all the latest combat sports news around the world, around the clock, like Robert said, it's fightbookmma.com. Thanks, everybody, for watching and or listening. For Rudy Lar, producer at hand, Texas, Berto the boss, New Mex, Marcel, the Netherlands, and Mark Ambu, our primo up north. We are sitting ringside, episode 180. We out. Enjoy the fights.
Marcel, thanks, brother.
Thank you,
appreciate it, man.
Good shit.
Well done.
I enjoyed that one.
We'll keep in touch, man.
Thank you so much, guys.
Okay.
Thanks, bro.
Later, man.
Bro.